Hey y'all, I told y'all a few videos ago that I was going to make a video kind of explaining the types of men that you encounter as a transgender woman. That's what this video is going to be about today. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, comment, all of those good things. And if you're ready, I'm ready, okay?
What's your name? What's my number? What's your name? What's my number? My name's Kia. My name's Kia. What's your name? What's my number? What's your name? What's my number? My name's Kia. My name's Kia.
So, the first guy that I said that you will encounter, the size queen, aka the bottom boy. Before you even meet him, he's going to ask you a lot of questions like, do you still have your part? How big is it? If it's small, he might not be interested as much. He might ask you, are you a top? Personally, this type of guy for me is not compatible because I'm what you consider as a bottom in this lifestyle. I'm a bottom, so I don't top anybody. I'm nobody's top. I will never be anybody's top. That's not my place in the world. And so when I run across these guys, it can be a letdown for me because most times it is the guy that you least expect. Like, it'll be somebody masculine or kind of hood or something like that. And he wants you to stick him. And so it'll just kind of throw off your whole equilibrium of what you think your man should do or be, or what a man should do and be like for you. For me personally, that's a turnoff. This guy here, the bottom boy, he will probably send you naked pictures. He'll be all bent over, spreading his cheeks apart, showing you everything where the sun don't shine. And he is not ashamed, you know, because he's thinking that you with it. He doesn't understand everybody not into that. You know, he just thinking with his, I guess you could say he thinking with his ass at this point. This guy here, to me, he just a full-fledged woman behind closed doors. This is a full-fledged woman. If it's no shame in your game, then more power to you, but more power to you over there. Not the guy for me. I did encounter one guy that came here. I guess you could say he was versatile. And so I didn't necessarily know that. So we had kind of like a sexual encounter. I was just like, I don't want to fuck. I remember him saying,
Well, do you want to fuck me?
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
and I just remember, like, it threw me off. I started looking at him like a woman at that point. The next guy. This guy is what I call the referee. You're gonna run into this guy eventually. It's bound to happen. And this guy is basically the woman gatekeeper. And when I say that, I mean he is going to be the guy that he feels he can determine if you're woman enough or where you should be to be woman enough. He's going to have all these ideas and opinions about your transition when he hasn't transitioned a thing in his life, but he wants to tell you how to run your transition. So he's kind of like a manager for your transition, or he calls himself trying to be that. You know, this guy, he wants you to have all the bells and whistles. He wants you to have the breast job. He wants you to do whatever facial work you have to do. He wants you to keep your hair laid, your nails done. Shoot, at this point, he probably even wants you to go lay on somebody's table and get pumped, you know. He wants you to have that look, that trans girl look, or like just that bad bitch look. You know what I'm saying? That's what his whole idea in his head. He's going to make you into the woman that he wants you to be. An example of this guy is the guy I spoke about in my "Oh No He Didn't" video. The guy who I told y'all he wanted me to end up kind of like being like another girl who he had fancied, another one of the trans girls who he kind of had a thing for. And I had to like check him about that. So like that's the guy who's kind of like that. Number 3, the fetishizer. The fetishizer is going to be very freaky, and his fetish happens to be you. And so he's going to be into all types of things. You know, he might want to suck you up. He might want... Listen, It may be no limit. These type of guys, they mainly come out at night. Not going to really encounter them in the daytime. They're going to be the guys that's kind of lurking and come out like a roach when they ready for you.
It's showtime.
A lot of these guys will mostly objectify you and treat you as less than human. Just like any other fetish. Like if you have a SSBBW fetish, or just any type of fetish that you have, they tend to objectify you. He probably won't so much respect your transition. Like it's possible that he might even see you as just a man playing dress up, or as a cross dresser, which, you know, cross dressers tend to be something that these guys seek out a lot of times too when they have a fetish, you know. And so they may just see you as that, regardless of what work you've had done or what hormones you take or the life that you live. They could very well see you as just a cross-dresser. These guys, it's strictly sexual with them. It's nothing more. They can be kind of like sweet at first. So like when you were first talking to them, they're probably going to be polite, and even like while y'all are having sex, it's like baby this and baby that. Oh my God, baby, you so beautiful. He's gonna pump your head up and say a whole bunch of sweet nothings. But as soon as he come, as soon as that stuff trickle out, it's a whole nother story. He a whole nother person, and he's no longer interested in you. He can be very like standoffish or even nasty towards you after he comes. So you want to kind of beware of that guy, because that guy will kind of make you feel lesser as a person. Number 4 is your sis.
You win it! Hey, Lord!
Marvin.
Okay. That's sis. That's basically someone who is bisexual, gay, pansexual. So the point of it all is that they're very much into the gay scene. And so they may not even be necessarily flamboyant, but they will be very comfortable with the gay scene. You see what I'm saying? Which is, it's nothing wrong with that, but if that's not something you're looking for, it's just not for you. You know what I'm saying? And so this could be considered like a butch queen who just happens to fancy trans women, or have some sort of attraction to trans women. And I've even heard stories of like how some girls say you have to watch out for certain people that you date, because you'll be thinking that they this manly man, or like you'll be thinking that they're your lover or whatever, but really they want to try on your clothes, and they really want to do what you're doing, you know. So it's been different stories like that. This could also be a good friend, somebody who could be a good friend to you because they are a part of the community or are comfortable with the community. Me personally, I just don't involve myself romantically with someone who's so attached to the gay community. I'm more so attracted to masculine, quote unquote, straight men, or just men who are comfortable with their sexuality, but not so much on the gay scene. I like my man to be somewhat detached from the gay community, but still cognizant of the issues of the gay community and understanding of those issues. The sister, he's gonna be very much, he might be at a pride event, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like I said, me personally, I've tried to consider like a butch queen because of my troubles with men, and maybe I was thinking like maybe that would turn out better for me, you know. I've considered it, but I'm just not at that point myself where I can just really fathom the idea of me being with a butch queen, or someone who has some feminine qualities to their self. You know, a while back, before I transitioned, you know, I've dealt with femme guys before, and it was just never really any spark there. Now, there was one guy who I would say is like bisexual, that was in Georgia. Never met him in person, but I had this big crush on him because he was an extremely feminine, you know, deep voice. So I did have a crush on him, but that would probably be the closest thing I could do to something like that. Maybe like a bisexual man or pansexual. Truth be told, like most of the men that I'm dealing with, I sort of consider them bisexual. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not a female. And that's just my opinion on it. And if you find you a sister, hold on to it, because she could be a good friend to you. Next person, number 5. This is the DL or discreet dude you're going to run into. There's differences between the two. So like the DL guy, he's probably if you look at it on a larger scale, he's probably not going to seriously respect you. And I say that because anybody who hides you or feels like they can just lie to you or mislead you or mislead other people in their life, they have no respect for not only themselves but you. If they don't respect themselves, how do they respect you? And so this guy, like I said, he'll want to keep you as a secret. He may have a girlfriend, a wife, kids, but at the end of the day, he can't help himself. He got to have that taste of the rainbow. He wants it so bad. And so he finds himself still dealing with, trans and gay people regardless. And honestly, this type of guy can be very dangerous. You want to be careful with this type of guy because anybody who feels like they have something they need to hide, they will definitely kill for that thing that they want to hide. You know what I'm saying? So you have to be careful. Me, these days, I used to really like entertain DL men, and I used to, that was the closest thing to a masculine man back when I was gay. That was the closest thing to a masculine man I used to find. But now that I have transitioned, I don't have to really deal with DL men. Not to say I did back then, but I was still growing up as an LGBT child, as somebody who was finding my way. And definitely as you get older, you just learn that some stuff you don't want to have to deal with, or you just respect you respect yourself more than allowing yourself to be someone's secret. Your discreet guy, the difference between him and the DL guy, the discreet guy, he may respect you to a certain degree. He may respect you to a certain degree, but because of society, he most likely will want to keep his business to himself. And so if you're a part of his business, if y'all are become one, he may even entertain the idea of a relationship, some sort of relationship with you. But he'll just want to be very low key about it. And he's the type that he may be very comfortable with his sexuality, but he may not be the one that will broadcast it. So if somebody asks him, he might tell them, but otherwise he probably won't say anything. Out of both of these men, the DL and the discreet man, you probably would never expect it from these guys. You'll walk right past these guys and think they was just a regular guy. Number 6 is the frequent shopper. This guy is well versed in all things TS, all things transgender. That's what that means if you don't know. But he goes from one transgender to the next, and he doesn't care. He has a taste for transgenders. He's pretty much like or the same as the fetishizer, I would say. But I wanted to kind of focus in on this particular person because the frequent shopper, he'll have many of the girls on his Facebook page, his Instagram page. And when I say the girls, anytime I say something like that, that's like a girl like me. And so you'll see just a whole bunch of these transgender individuals or even gay individuals on his page. And he may like all these different people's pictures. He might be in everybody's DMs. He just has an appetite, a large appetite for trans women.
Basically, he ain't got no type. Trans bitches is the only thing that he likes.
I wouldn't put too much stock into him because he's not focused on a relationship. It's more so just a sexual experience for him that he's seeking. The next person I would say is the trick daddy. Number 7, the trick daddy. This dude, he willing to pay for it. He's usually very much like the size queen and the fetishizer, so he has both of those qualities to where the guy that's going to pay you, he probably is so deep into the lifestyle to where he probably wants you to penetrate him and stuff like that. He wants to pay for you to penetrate him. That's what they seek out with girls like me a lot of times. And so this guy, that'll probably be like his thing. It's going to be nothing serious for him. He's going to have that cash though. That's what's going to be serious. Like if you decide to take that route of escorting or, making ends meet however you need to, this guy is going to have the money. Or on the other end, he could be broke. He could be a broke trick daddy. You know what I'm saying? He could be broke, and expect something for nothing. And so like this type of guy that's the trick daddy, he's usually overweight, older, or generally just not conventionally attractive. He's just not anything that would catch anybody's eye, and he knows that. And so He's
That's all, folks.
he's a paymaster. Number 8 is the good guy doll.
Hi, I'm Chucky, and I'm your friend to the end.
If you've seen Chucky or Child's Play, you will get the gist of what I'm saying, because if you've seen that movie, you know Chucky was supposed to be this friendly, good doll that was for kids. And when he was with Andy, you know, he started off as a good doll, and his mama gave it to him for his birthday or whatever, and he was just so excited for this doll. But over time, you find out that this doll has evil intentions or just is not good at all. Much like Chucky, the guy who's the good guy doll, he's going to start off real nice and sweet. He might say all the right things. He might do all the right things. He might bring you something, maybe to eat or something. He's just going to seem like a gentleman, very polite or whatever at first. But then over time, you'll notice that he doesn't keep the same energy, or he begins to try to demean you or control you in a way. The person who he shows you himself to be in the beginning is just like, it's not really who he is. He can be a liar and a manipulator, and he can be very charming, but just not good for you in the long run. This is definitely a guy who a lot of females will probably run into as well. Females run into those same guys that are just no good for them as well. You know, I've actually learned from a lot of females and from, I would say, other trans women on how to deal with men like this and not to play games with men like this. You know, you just leave them right where they're standing and give them no energy. Now, number 9, the crazy. Now, this guy, I would say, he's extremely dangerous because he can be volatile. And he may not have much to lose. And it seems like a lot of the girls we run into this type of guy often. This guy, he may start off pretty decent, or you may even notice some like qualities in him that rub you as like, oh, this nigga kind of crazy or whatever. But it might kind of like be kind of cute to you in a way at first, but over time he may become infatuated with you, or he may show signs of being very quick to anger or abusive in a way. And so he can be very moody. And he could even seem normal at first and then turn into this guy and show his true colors. He's going to be inconsistent. He's not going to have his stuff together. He's just going to be all over the place. He may be into drugs and alcohol. He may not have a stable job. He may not have a car. He may be staying with somebody. He may be trying to come stay with you and saying whatever he needs to do to come stay with you. This is the guy you want to stay completely clear of. Not only DL guys and fetish guys, but also these crazy guys. But these crazy guys, they're just so unpredictable. Some of the girls have actually lost their lives to guys like this, you know, that they put their trust in, and these guys just were not right in the head. Number 10 is Curious George. It's just like it sounds. He's somebody who's curious. He may be bi-curious. He just may be curious. And a lot of times, these type of guys will try to straddle the fence. And so what I mean by that is like he can't come to terms with his attraction for you. And so it may make him question himself, and you will find him being the type of guy who will say stuff like, oh no, I ain't never did nothing with no gay man, but, you know, I'm attracted to you, you're trans, you know. And they'll try to really stress and differentiate you from as far away from being anything related to a man, because they don't want to see themselves as gay. And you know, that can be a good thing, but when they try to stress it, they stress it to the point that you can tell that they're uncomfortable with really dealing with you. They haven't completely come to terms with it, and they're trying to talk themselves through it, you know. And so I would say it's a 50-50. It's a toss-up when dealing with this type of guy, because it could be something good that comes out of it, but it can also be something like hurtful. Me personally, I don't like to deal with guys that are curious or just want to experiment. That's what these guys are. They want to experiment with the girls, because maybe they seen something on a porn, or maybe they had some kind of experience maybe had somebody who was trans that they knew or they always saw, and they it just built up a curiosity in them to say, I wonder what that's like. I wonder if they did better than a female. You know, it's stuff like that that will have their mind like kind of turning and eventually wanting to act on it. Now, after he has his encounter with a trans person, it could turn him out. After it turns him out, he could become a person who's like a tranny chaser, or like what I was saying, the person who is called the shopper. I told you, the frequent shopper, which is also AKA a tranny chaser. He could develop into a person like that, or he could fall in love with the trans woman. That's why I say it's a toss-up, because he's just curious at this point, and what comes natural to him is his attraction to females. And this is just something he wants to try out because he thinks he will like it. But sometimes the reality is not the same as the fantasy, you know. And so I just would not, me personally, I wouldn't put my stock all into a guy like that. A lot of times he'll ask you personal questions like, have you had the surgery, or do you still have a dick? He'll just say stuff, and he'll just be so, he won't be tactful with the way he speaks because he's not knowledgeable on issues that you face as a transgender person or just as a gay person. He's not knowledgeable, and he may seem kind of blind to that fact that the way he's talking to you can be seen as disrespectful or just not right for him to ask you certain questions or say certain things. But this guy, you know, he could have even been a guy who was attracted to you before he clocked you, or before you told him what it was. He could have been attracted to you, and it grows from there. You know, or he could have spotted you from a mile away and acted like he didn't know. So this is the type of guy that the Curious George type of guy is that you will most likely encounter. Last but not least, this is my favorite type of guy here. And I'm hoping that it'll be all of our favorite type of guys, and the type of guys that we shoot for, the type of guys that we entertain, not the type of guy that we kind of shun. This type of guy is called the upstanding man. You know, I wanted to definitely differentiate him from all the other categories by calling him a man, the upstanding man. This guy has some level of integrity about him. This guy is an overall good guy with good qualities and good intentions for you. You know, so his relationship with you will pretty much mirror the relationship he would have with a female, because he will truly respect you as a transgender woman, you know. And you don't run across this guy as often in this society that we live in now. You know, I believe the world is changing, and I believe over time people will be more comfortable to live their truth. But at this point in time, people are still not comfortable completely. And so this guy will be comfortable with himself and secure with his sexuality. He won't feel the need to overcompensate like the Curious George, who's just kind of straddling the fence. He won't feel the need to hide you like the DL guy or the discreet guy in a way. You know, he won't just fetishize you. He will see you for not only his attraction to you physically, but his attraction to the connection you guys may share mentally and emotionally. So this guy is a lot more in depth than the other guys, and he's willing to take it there with you as a transgender woman. He tends to be a free thinker, because after all, for him to respect you as a transgender woman, it does require some level of free thinking aside from the societal norm way of thinking. And so he tends to be a free thinker and someone who is able to sit there and talk with you and be rational, but yet be understanding. This guy, he's not necessarily going to be perfect. He's going to have flaws like any other person, any other man, just like you. He's going to have flaws. But at the end of the day, he's going to treat you like a human being. And furthermore, he's going to treat you like every other girl. You know what I'm saying? He's going to treat you like you want to be treated, which we all want to be seen and viewed in this world as a woman. When it comes to your security as a woman, as a transgender in this world, you will have somebody basically in your corner, a friend, so to speak. So this guy here, I just wish that even me, like me and all my sisters, we strive for this type of guy. I wish that a lot of times we stop glorifying these DL dudes that they're just negative people. They have no depth to them. They just want what they want. They're selfish. And you need a guy who wants the best for you as well as for himself. That loves himself but has the potential to love you. Like I said, I kind of wanted to kind of go through these different types of men with you guys, because these are guys that you will encounter if you plan on transitioning. And this is something you need to be aware of, these type of men, and so that you can stay clear of some of them or know what you're dealing with and play your cards however you need to play them. I want to thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Like I said, those are 11 types of guys that you will encounter as a trans woman. Tell me in the comments below if you are a trans woman and you can identify any other type of guy that I missed. Or if you're a biological woman and you can identify some of these guys that you might encounter as well. Which I know myself, there's a few of them in there that you might encounter. So y'all show me some love in the comments. And until next time, bye.